Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new here. Hi, my name is Rosie, and thank you so much for taking a moment out of your busy day to spend a few moments with me. I appreciate it. So there's 3 reasons why I do my project templates the way that I do. So the first one is the cost. I think cost, because it's money, is always a factor in anything that we do. So I use printer paper, and that's because of the cost. I don't want to be using my scrapbook paper because there's going to be mistake, right guys? I mean, there's always going to be things you say, oh, I need to make this smaller, larger, or this actually doesn't work for the page the way that I thought it would. You know, that sort of thing. So there's always changes. No template at the very beginning is 100% perfect. It's just not, right guys? So for that reason, I use printer paper. That way I'm not so concerned about, you know, whatever element I'm trying to bring to the project. It didn't work. I need to scrap it, throw it away. I'm not that concerned about it because it's printer paper, fairly inexpensive. So that's the first reason. The second reason really revolves around the design, and that I need it to be fluid. So what does that mean? I need it to be flexible so that I can change things around. You know, I don't know about you, but when I think of a project, right, something comes to my mind and I get a quick visual on it. I, a lot of times, don't know how it's going to come out, right? I'm thinking this is a particular way I want something to look. I have a vague idea as to the outcome, but getting it there, that's completely different. So when I'm working with my project template, I need it to be as fluid as possible. So for instance, in this case, I have an envelope attached to the cover. So this is actually going to be the very first thing that you see. This template here is part of my Cute and Crafty mini portfolio or album. It's a Happy Mail idea. And that video should be going up, either it should be up already or it will be coming up in the next video or so. So in this particular instance, I know that I wanted it to be a gift to someone. So I wanted the very first thing that they see to be the card, right? So I had to think up the size that I wanted, and then as well as the card. I am not concerned about how it's going to look as far as the embellishments and all of that. At this stage, I really don't care. It's more about the layout. At this stage, it's all about the layout. How is it going to flip, turn? What is it going to house? What can I fit in it? That sort of thing. But not concerned about the actual embellishments. So again, in this instance, I have a card here, but, you know, I was toying with it being perhaps a place to just house something and not necessarily a card. So whenever I'm attaching something to the template, I always use removable double-sided tape, never glue, and I use just a little bit, enough to make sure that it holds, but not enough to make it stick where I'm going to rip something if I move it. Because again, remember, I want this to be as fluid as possible. But I am attaching every single element to it so that I can get a good representation as to kind of how it's going to lay out. So if I have my envelope, my card here, I can easily move it to the back if I'm thinking that's something that I want to do, and I can see whether or not it fits. Does it work if I have it here? And then the last thing is the card. In this particular instance, I decided that I definitely wanted it to be on the first page because I wanted the card to be the first thing that they open.
guys.
I'm interrupting the video super quick to let you know that I've set myself a goal of attaining 500 additional new subscribers by the beginning of September. If you're interested in helping little old me out, please subscribe to my channel and leave me a comment down below so that I may thank you personally. I'm going to be hosting my very first giveaway around September that's going to be open to all visible subscribers. It's going to be a lot of fun, so don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel. Okay, enough about that. Back to the video. The other thing is that I like to add as many elements as possible to a flip book, between tuck spots, side loading envelopes, coin pockets, all those different elements that we can add to our projects just to kind of elevate it. But at this stage, I need it to be flexible. I need it to be fluid because it's always changing. So what I do is I just add a little bit of removable double-sided tape, not a lot. I don't want to affix this permanently to my template. I want to be able to move things around so that if I decided against adding this side loading pocket to this page, I can just very easily pick it up and move it perhaps to another page, wherever I think I may want it. So maybe I can do one here. You see what I mean? I can easily pick up that element and move it to another location. So let me just, let's see here, put this back. You know what? I need to put a little more double-sided tape, removable. As you can see, I use a very little bit. So there. Okay. So again, I can just easily pick it up, move it to its new home. So that's the second reason why I need all of these things to be, just like this wavy tuck spot here. I can easily move it. And if I wanted it to actually be on the previous page, I can do that. I can see how it looks and go from there. So I love doing it this way. I feel like, I think it saves me a lot of time, honestly. And that way I can kind of, play with it, see how I want it to look. My coin pocket, as you can tell, it's one out of my double-sided tape, because I did play around with this coin pocket to see where I wanted it, so I kept lifting it. So I'm just adding a little bit more double-sided tape, and there you have it. Also, it's great because of closures. I can see how it's going to close. Do I want Velcro, magnet? Do I want it a belly band? Do I want tool? You know what I mean? You can play with all those different elements right from here. Okay. So for the third and last reason why I create my project templates the way that I do is for future reference. So let me just move some stuff out of the way. You can see that my notebook is very well loved. It's dirty. It has glue all over it because I am constantly referencing this book. And I don't necessarily care if it's perfect. What I want is the material that's held inside of it to be there. So that's my main reason. In any case, I just use a large spiral bound notebook, and this is where I keep, this is kind of like my Bible, this is where I keep any drawings or dimensions, steps, things like that for projects I keep here. So let me just show you. Let's see here. So let me just turn to any page, doesn't really matter which page. So what I do is I write down any of the material that I'm going to need, and then as well any steps if I need it, if I need steps as well. I attach any, diagrams, things like that, things that I might want to reference later, I keep. But I try to, if it's something that's in my head, and I've never done it before and haven't necessarily seen perhaps something, or I've seen something either at the grocery store, at the pharmacy, you know, on Pinterest, wherever it is, and I have it in my mind. I need to draw it, and then once it's drawn, then I can go about and say, okay, well, you know, technically, how is this going to work? So I draw out how I want it, and then I'll draw little diagrams of what I want. For instance, here I'm showing a hinge. I show some pockets. Here's some waterfall pages. As well, I keep any templates of, you know, like a template of something that I've done, either printer paper or scrapbook paper, whatever it is that I have. I will staple to that page with the instructions. Sometimes I'll keep, you know, little notes here, and I never got around to actually making it, but it's here, so at least if I go back to it, I have a jumping off point. So in this instance, let me move this like this. So this is the project that we were just looking at. So what I did was, when I'm creating this, I typically, let me see if I can find one to show you. I may not be able to, but typically what I do is, as I'm going through this process, I'm jotting down all of the dimensions on a separate piece of printer paper, and I'm constantly erasing and rewriting and erasing and rewriting because of the dimensions, because of the layout, whatever it is. So once I'm done and I know my dimensions, I then transfer all of my dimensions to this book, or in some instances, I'll just staple it to the page, depending. And then I will also staple to the page my printer paper template, so that if I wanted to see in the future what it really looked like, the size and all of that, I have an actual template that I can reference later. As well, if I wanted to make, I recently made this cute and crafty Happy Mail idea, but let's say I wanted to make one now for Christmas. Well, that's great. I have it here. I have all of the dimensions ready. All I need to do is switch out the paper. So that's the third reason why I do it the way that I do. Here is another project that I've been working on. This one here is my crafty notepad and holder. This was because I needed a notepad that I really need to start keeping something close to me. But of course, us crafters, we need it to look pretty. So I created this little notepad holder. Let's see here. Here's the back. And as you can tell, it's pretty good size here. I made it this way especially so that I can add additional items in this box if I needed to. So there is that. And then I just have this pad here that I just place inside. And that way when it's sitting on my desk, I have a holder for it. So there is that notepad holder, but again, here is the actual printer paper template. So if I wanted to make one again using a different scrapbook paper or whatever the reason, or I want to make one to gift, I have a template here, as well as all of my dimensions. Do I have anything on the back? Yep. Any dimension, size of paper, that sort of thing. So I was saying in some instances, I haven't written down all of my dimensions. In this instance, I just saved my scrap piece of paper with all of my dimensions. And I just stapled it to the page along with my printer paper template. So that way, in the future, I have it. Alright guys, well that's all I have for you today. I really hope that you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please smash that like button and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And if you have, thank you so much. Your support goes a long way in helping my little channel out. Alright guys, until the next time, stay safe, be kind, and keep it creative.